Eli's Jump Training Part 10. This is basically the end of my training that I did. All right, we're starting out with some Kim Collins bend grids. And here you'll see me, I'm pacing out Eli's, his bounce. So he was 4 of my steps. I'm a small person. I have a size 5 foot. So he was four toe to toe, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the front 2 are even, the middle 2 are on the same angle. So this is Eli working a bend grid. And what we're looking at, and this is the same time frame, so I don't know why the video went darker, but it did. I think I changed my camera angle slightly, but this is the exact same session. And one thing that we're working on here is him learning how to pick up his feet quickly. That was just super nice. And I want him to bounce in the middle, back feet basically taking up where the front feet were, and to do that first kind of slow, and then as he gains more confidence, speed it up. All right, this is a bend grid with a bounce grid, and the idea behind this one is to go from extension but modified extension. So he's still in a bounce, and the bounce grid creates collection. It helps to create collection. So here he's going from the bend grid into the bounce grid. So almost true collection into relative collection. So you can see how he has to kind of figure out where he takes off from on the bounce grid as he comes out. So you'll see him work his front feet a little bit. And now I'm beginning to reverse it. So we're going to go from extension, modified extension, because he's in a bounce, modified extension into a bend grid, which means that he needs to collect more, needs to collect faster in order to get the proper rhythm for the bend grid. He drops a few bars through this, but he eventually figures it out. And what's important to note on this one is that regardless if he drops a bar or not, I do give him the reward. And there were a couple of times where I moved the plate without him understanding that. So he was searching for the plate, the target plate. And so you'll see me point it out to him. On super good ones, I jackpot. On ones where he doesn't drop the bar. So you can see, if you watch that last one, watch him come into the bend grid. Watch him grab a second stride. There it is. Good boy. So it goes 1, 1, double stride for the bend grid, for preparing for the bend. So 1, he actually had 2 in that one. Dropped a bar. 1 and 2. So that went 1, 1, 2. And I think he had 3 on the out. 1, 1, and he messed up. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So him learning how to figure out his feet. That was 3 in, 1, and he missed the second set. 1, 2, 3. 1. And then it went 2, 1. All right, here we're working on bending with collection prior to the bar. So what I'm looking for is for him to throw in a stride just before takeoff. So slowing down, there was a straight one, that didn't count. So asking him to come in closer to the bar to lift up rather than straight out. So I'm looking for him to collect before the bar. And these are really, really hard. Really hard for him anyway. And a lot of people use different ways to get them to do this. Some people put them on a wall. I really tried to avoid that, although you'll see that I do experiment with a bar here. So this is just a different angle on the bend. He's definitely better on one side than he is on the other. Here, he did a lot of slicing. So there he's diving over the bar. You can see him kind of slice it and then turn. So I added the bar in, and it still didn't work. Still didn't work. I'm coming in closer to help him, and we just get a little confusion here for a little bit. So what I'm asking him to do is to square up to the bar, which he is not doing. There he's square. That's what I want him to do on his own. So there's a little learning curve here for both of us. This is really, really hard, nitty-gritty training. And some people wouldn't care if their dog sliced over the bar as long as they turned. I do. I want to see if I can change it on him. That was better. So there I added in a broad jump bar, which didn't help much, helped a little bit. I've seen people use water bottles. I've seen people use, that was a bad one. I've seen people use toilet plungers. I've seen people use wire. I've seen people use what are called jump bumps. I've seen plexiglass used. There's just a ton to try and teach them how to square up. And I think that there is modified success across the board, because I just think this is a really difficult mechanical skill to acquire. And I definitely would like a better way to train this. This was not my favorite exercise right here. That was a good one, though. That was okay. All right, so there are 2 lines on the ground. The first line is really my ideal where I want him to land. My second is a no-go zone, and anything beyond that is not my favorite. But the faster he goes, the more he goes out. Yeah, that was a nice one. I'm trying to get him to understand to add a stride in just before takeoff to come in closer to the bar. To truly jump that bar in collection, true collection, rather than modified collection. And right now, my positioning and heavy cueing is very much needed. So same exercises on different bars, different days, different speeds. That was a nice one. He was coming in on light speed. All right, this is class. Just doing the course, or a little bit of the course. I don't do the whole thing. What I do like about what he's doing is he's pretty high in class. He gets pretty excited. Working on extension for slices, some serpentine work, asking him to diverge and then converge with me. So sometimes he's jumping into me on the first jump. Sometimes he's jumping away from me. All right, with these pushes, he does struggle with the push. So watch the first on the right side. So there's a push. That means he needs to go to the back side. And that's definitely a hard move for him. Not only does he have to converge in on me, but he has to go out to the back side first. So he really flung his butt there. So this is just time in the saddle. As my daughter's swim instructor said, she just needs time in the pool. All right, this is a bounce grid, and this is a bounce zigzag grid. And this is going to turn into a serpentine grid. It's very, very tight. It requires him to make very fast foot decisions. So there's not a lot of time for him to make decisions, and you'll see that he does struggle as it gets tighter. He's doing really well here. I don't know that he dropped any bars, maybe one bar, and now it's tight. So now he's going to struggle as he learns how to figure out that second spacing and grabbing that second bar.
Yes.
So if I have to stay to cue it, I definitely can't get in front of him for the fourth jump. Modified him a little bit to help him.
Jump. Jump. Yes.
Changing sides. So there he struggled. It's the convergence, him coming in on me, that he's struggling with the most, which is very, very difficult for some dogs to do, especially herding dogs. But most dogs do not enjoy converging in on their handlers. A lot of serpentine work is just putting time into the training, doing it over and over and over again, asking them to understand, keeping them offset, the serpentine line offset until more of a zigzag, until they truly understand.